welcome back to another YouTube round of disc golf on the Miles Miller YouTube channel. Today we are going to be commentating a round that Miles played at Walnut Hollow Disc Golf Course in Cary, Illinois. And as you can see, we have a par 59, so a couple par 4s, one par 5, and not the longest course in the world, not the shortest course in the world, but got some tight lines. You'll see why it gets tricky. But a bag check also. This is the first bag check we see from Miles Miller, so no in the bags in sight, but we do see a lot of discs. We see a lot of fairway drivers, everything from Craves to Leopards, Leopard 3s, TL 3s. He's got it all. Drivers, a lot of drivers too. I do know that for putter shots, Miles likes to throw his yellow Invader or yellow Colt, and also that zone, the ESP Flex zone, and the Anvil get a lot of use from the short, like 250 foot and in range from Miles. So here it looks like he's got his PD2 in hand for hole 1. Hole 1 being a nice and easy start to the traditionally hard Walnut Hollow course. We have a 365 foot par 3. And Miles lining up the forehand here. He's putting a lot of mustard on this one. And we are in the fairway, maybe about 35 feet short here. As he lines this one up, that cornfield, and all cornfields today will be playing OB. And a confident looking putt there from Miles to get a birdie on hole 1, looking just like he did on the practice green. So hole 2, another hole that you really want to birdie. This first shot, barely squeaking through the trees on the left, getting through the gap. Not really what you want. If you can get anything out into the open, you're totally fine, because at 888 feet, this par 5 is not exactly the longest. So Miles doing a good job to rip one into the fairway here. Going to make up for the first shot. And I think he's got about 320 feet in. So that last shot was with his black Enigma. This one, he's going back to the PD2. From about 320, this is just a perfect distance. A little uphill, so maybe playing 330. But he is all but parking that one to get a nice birdie and go 2 under through 2 to start. Just a picture-perfect start so far. Hole 3, not a traditional birdie hole from basically anybody, because although this tee shot doesn't look too hard, just throw something straight out into the gap, we've got a big muff-o stuff in the middle of the fairway now. So Miles is going to pitch out, and he's going to get to a spot that would be a very ideal drive. So now you need to throw around the muff-o stuff, but not go into the cornfield. So this, while it does go around everything, that looked very close to OB, but it does come back. This is now Miles' par putt because he had to chip out, and that is just not what you want on this hole. If you're missing this hole, oh, and unfortunate, is that
boysenberry
double bogey as Miles eats a boysenberry? I don't think so. I think we're gonna give him a bogey on that one. But bogey on that hole is not good. It is a very hard hole, but you really want your mistakes to be pars here on this course if you want to shoot low. So hole 4 now, a 700-foot par 4. A little shorter, a little more birdieable, but as you can see, you're throwing your tee shot at this tree line and hoping it hyzers, but not too much, because although that's not cornfield, everything left is out of bounds. So Miles is not out of bounds. This is his 3rd shot now. It looks like he's going to the PD2. He threw a Halo Destroyer off the tee. And I think he was about 350 feet away from the pin there. So now he threw that one just a little short. And he's got about a 45-foot putt here for par. Really taking his time to line this one up. It looks great, but just a little too high. It is a funny sound to hear, just a dead band sound when you try to put one in. But unfortunately, at the end of the day, that is just a bogey for Miles. So we go bogey on holes 3 and 4. Hole 5 here, this right side gap, you want to kind of hyzer flip to flat something. So he's going with a flippy TL3.
Oh.
And he's yanking it a little too much. That is not what you want to do. Here, 2022 Miles has a Glow Leopard 3, and this is much more accurate to what you want to do. You want to flip something up to flat and have it just drift left at the very end. So that is not what Miles did. So he's got a relatively hard up and down. You could barely see the yellow band of the basket poking up, and that disc is way too short, way too right. This is another 45-ish footer for par. Just the same story from the last hole. A little too high, right off the band. And Miles is going to tap that one in for bogey. That is a bogey. That is a bogey. The holes 3, 4, and 5 start for Miles. That is not good. So hole 6, dead straight. This is a nice and easy breath of fresh air. But Miles throwing it too far to the left here. He's got some meat on the bone left for his birdie. The putt looked good. It was just too much anhyzer. It was on too much anhyzer, and it squeaked out right. So Miles did throw a star lion on the tee there. Maybe something like a Mako 3, something straighter would be better. We could only hope he does that next time. So now Miles is 1 over par going into hole 7. All of this tall stuff to the right in front of the basket, used to be mowed. And it used to be maybe only 5 feet off the ground, and it was something you had to throw over to get a birdie. But now, Miles chips up his second shot, just playing for par, and now he's got this for his par, and he does squeak that in. But that, if he would have bogeyed this hole, he'd probably be feeling really terrible. I would probably be feeling terrible if I would have bogeyed that hole after looking at the start that I would have had too. So hole 8 now, a downhill 376-foot par, 3 cornfield OB. Miles hanging out at PD2 just above the OB. And this is going to be about a 30-foot putt for a birdie.
Oh my
and
God.
Barely in. Barely squeaking that one, and it wanted to jump out right, but it did not. And a nice birdie there for Miles on hole 8. That is what he needed to get back to even par. So now hole 9, a really weird hole to get thrown into the mix here. A 200-foot par 3. And because it's so quote-unquote easy, it is playing as an island. So if he would have thrown off of this island, which is about maybe a 35-foot radius, it would have been a drop zone putt that he'd have from about 45 feet short. But nope, he is going to very routinely collect that birdie. And although we had a rocky middle of our front 9, Miles is finding himself at 1 under par after 9. It's not bad to be 1 under par. You do want to be maybe 2 or 3 because there are a good amount of birdies on the front 9, but 3 bogeys not going to be conducive to a blazing hot front 9. So 1 under par going into hole 10. Miles opting for a forehand around everything. If you notice the very right side of your screen right now, people do throw a backhand that just kind of curves left. But Miles likes the forehand out to the left around everything. Because the worst thing you're going to do is what he did here. Hit this last tree and just fall down and have a long putt for birdie. So an unfortunate spit out there. We're going to pretend that didn't happen. Miles, we're just going to call that a par. He didn't birdie that, but missed the long birdie putt. Taps in his par. Not a bad way to play that hole. Moving on to hole 11. Miles going to hyzer out a little early, flirting with the guardian trees. But because this is only a 264-foot hole, he does throw it far enough. He throws a TL3 there, and it does get all the way up to the pin, and he's going to tap that one out for birdie. I cannot say the same easy tidbits about hole 12 here. Hole 12 is a 424-foot par 3, and Miles doesn't even get more than halfway up the fairway because he hits the branches from these trees in the middle of the fairway. He was trying to go around everything, but as you can see, there's OB left here, and there's also OB right. There's OB on both sides here, so maybe a part of Miles' body didn't let him really rip that one over off the tee as much as he wanted. But he is going to tap out a par here for a no harm, no foul hole 12. So hole 13, tunnel shot. This is a signature hole of Walnut. 352 feet. He's going for his Sphinx here. This is a flippy disc. So he does put it on a bit of hyzer, but it's going to flip over into the trees.
I think I got through everything. I don't know. Let's find out.
So
if I got through everything,
we're just
this
going to
would
let
be a
Miles talk
miracle,
here and
'cause
see if
look
he
at how
did get
dense
through
this
everything.
forest is to the right. I had to have just hit the most skinny, sneaky false gap through this right side stuff. I don't know. Let's just see. I'm going to keep the camera rolling so you guys can see with me and hopefully be very excited that I have a birdie putt. I don't know though. Ooh, there's a cup in there. You guys can't even see that, but come on, show me my disc out here. Please. Please, 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 please. Oh my, yes. That's just so dumb. Like I don't deserve this. But let's bang this.
And not the most confident looking putt from Miles, but a putt that goes in for Miles. So that's going to be a birdie, a bonus birdie at that on hole 13 here. Hole 14 is a little breath of fresh air. We've got a 263-foot par 3, and it's not exactly an easy hole. We still have a gap to hit here, so on a forehand, Miles is going to try a zone. And usually you see people throwing a little bit of anhyzer out of the hand, but that was a straight hyzer. I don't think that was intentional from Miles. I think he tried to throw that a little flatter, but he does have a 20-foot, maybe 25-foot putt, and that's going to go in. That looked like maybe the best putt he's thrown all day for a birdie there on hole 14. So birdie going to put him in a good spot here going into hole 15. Super hard hole, though. I've seen people take huge numbers on this hole. So all we're really looking to do is not kick something and just kick directly left or right. So Miles going for a flippy TL3 here. He yanks it a bit. But it does look like it went through a lot of stuff here. So a little anhyzer through the trees is what Miles is left with. Take it up and down for par. It's going to drift over a little to the left into those back bush trees. And a nice par save there from Miles on hole 15. He got through the gauntlet, which is holes just 13 and 15. He got through those one under par. That's fantastic. The hole 16, I wouldn't call this a breath of fresh air.
Nope.
It's not exactly an easy hole, although it's only 330 feet.
Okay.
You really have to commit to throwing a backhand that turns over, and Miles didn't get that TL3 over enough, although it is his flippiest TL3, so he's left with a weird up and down for par, but nice anhyzer zone and a tap in is going to yield him a nice par there. So hole 17, this I would consider a breath of fresh air. This is a must birdie for a lot of people that play this course, considering how hard the birdies are to come by on this course. So all you have to do is throw something into the fairway. So Miles does a good job of doing that and gets a good distance off the tee. I think he threw that about 375 feet. So going with a Star Invader, just a perfect upshot through a nice main gap there for a nice and easy tap out for birdie. It's exactly how you want to play this hole. Just throw something in the middle. You'll have a putter upshot or a zone upshot, whatever. It should be a fine upshot, and you'll tap in your birdie. So hole 18 here, most people throw through the middle gap, but Miles lining up a huge spike hyzer over everything, because I don't know if you knew this, but if you've seen Miles throw,
Yeah.
he isn't exactly known for his 460-foot backhands. He usually doesn't throw anything over 375 feet, so I think his plan is to just try to get up and down for par after a big spike hyzer. So it looks like parking this upshot, he's going to do just that.
All right, I'm exhausted. I think I shot about 3 or 4 under, which would be okay, just under the goal I had of 5 under at the beginning of the round. I really just need to clean up holes 3 through 6. I can't go 3 over on 3 through 6. It just can't happen. So yeah, hopefully I will do that. Just throwing one shot out here today on almost all of these holes wasn't fantastic practice, because I just wanted to get a good round in for the YouTube channel. But I'll come out here again, practice these holes more, and hopefully in a couple weeks I will be a 2-time Cary Crosstown Classic champion. Yes, Cary Crosstown Classic. So hope you guys enjoyed the round. I will catch you again very soon, hopefully, and have a fantastic rest of your day.
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I just shot a 5 under par. That's a tie for my best round ever here. So please like, comment, and subscribe for a fella, would you? Thank you very much. Have a good day.